Okay, here we are today at the National Student Enterprise Conference at Nottingham Trent University, and I'm at the Somewhere To stall with Mr. John Coster. Hi, John.
Good morning.
Can you tell us what the conference is about?
I think it's for students that are looking to get into enterprise or have already started enterprises to come together, and there seems to be a really extensive, well-rounded programme of lectures and talks and workshops for them to get involved in, to find out about all the different elements that are involved in getting enterprises going, really. The good thing is we're part of a marketplace today, with lots of organisations like Google and Sage and things like that, lots of local stuff, and then some real sort of inspirational young people as well, like the guys over my shoulder who've written a book and stuff about being entrepreneurs and the rise of the entrepreneurs.
Yeah, and you're obviously here today with Somewhere To. For those who don't know anything about Somewhere To, can you just tell us a little bit about it?
Yeah, Somewhere To is a national project for 16 to 25-year-olds to unlock space to do the things that they love. So, whether that's an empty shop, whether that's a sort of a school hall, a leisure centre, a library, right up to some really big spaces like, Blackwall Tower, sort of Old Trafford and stuff. And it's really interesting to speak to young people and never assume the sort of space that they want. It's about listening to them. And the great thing that we can do is, not only as coordinators for the East Midlands, and we're here today obviously in Nottingham signing lots of people up, but you can sign up with us today and get a goodie bag, but you can be from anywhere in the UK because it has an extensive coverage of regional coordinators, so you can still come to university in Nottingham, live down in London or up in Newcastle or in Bristol, go home and use it during the holidays. And then I was talking to a chap earlier who's in a band and they're going on tour, so I said, well, wherever you're going on tour, put you in touch with a regional coordinator, you might get some band practice space. So I think it allows you to bespoke the offering to young people once they're on board and signed up.
Yeah, and obviously one of the key things about it is that it's really simple to sign up, isn't it?
Yeah, it's very straightforward. You can do it online, so someone watching this now can go onto somewhere2.com, sign up with their details. Amazing amount of young people now are on sort of using social media and Twitter and stuff, which is great because we've been tweeting. That's what Tina has been doing over my shoulder here. But we've got some sign-up cards as well. So you can sign up, very straightforward. You get on a mailing list, but once you go on the website you can go through a database of all of the pictures and see some of the success stories as well of that people have had to run their own Somewhere To's, whether it's at the Space Centre, whether it's at the local library. It's amazing the breadth of things that people come to you with and request space to do.
Yeah, I think probably one of the key things about Somewhere To is it takes a little bit of the trepidation away for young people, say, approaching, say, large places like theatres or, libraries or museums to actually do that. And Somewhere To is a really good broker of that, isn't it?
Yeah, it's really interesting. I think it's young people and space providers like the theatres as well. I remember Tina and I went and spoke to some facilities managers for all the community centres in Leicester, and I think one of their biggest fears and smiles on their faces were when we said, well, it's not about these young people coming into you to broker the space. They broker the space for us, and that's the role that we play. And also it's the fact that we're not encouraging young people to set up alternatives to things that are already there that they can engage with, that cost to then make it free. I think that's what's really important. It's about trying to unlock space. And I remember saying to one of the people in their community centre, have you got a room that's full of furniture? Well, empty that out, make it as basic as tables and chairs, and you'll be surprised how many young people would be looking for space just to plan the things they want to do before they even get there. And also I think young people are really pretty motivated and excited by doing things, much more probably than the mainstream media gives them credit for. And the hardest thing I think with most things, and starting any kind of business, whether that's enterprise, whether you're not in education, employment or training, whether you're a student or you're kind of just finding your way after college, it's the finance to do what you want. Yeah, and it's also the space. And I think if we can take away the issue around the space, even if it's an opportunity to do it for the first time, to prove your case, if you like, and create like YouTube videos and photos and stuff to be able to do that. But then also through fantastic partnerships like with O2, there's an opportunity as well to unlock the first rung of the ladder of some funding. So it might not sound a lot, but it's amazing how much £300 is to a young person in order to be able to do an event and get it going, and whether it's materials, marketing materials, some T-shirts and stuff like that. It's amazing. I think it's a great project, and not only do I encourage young people to do it, but I speak to lots of people that have space, like empty shops, people that run buildings, certainly cafes. I think cafes are fantastic to do sort of exhibitions in and run media centres and stuff. And we've had really good support from Leicester, from the City Council, with unlocking all of the libraries. The head of service there, Adrian Wills, has been fantastic. With Steve Goddard, for the head of community education. We've been all under education, community education centres. We've had successes with things like museums, adult ed, right the way through to leisure centres as well. So it does amaze us sometimes that adults are really responsive to the project, because I think it gets young people to really think of space in a more innovative way about how they can use it.
Yeah, and obviously for space holders, because I was one with the library service, one of the key things is that a lot of the kind of insurances and risk assessments, all that's pretty much catered for with Somewhere Too. So for that side of things, it makes it really easy for people to engage with.
Absolutely, I think there's still a lot of fear factor with working with young people. It's interesting that if we can get young people to have the ability to vote at 16, 16 is still the cut-off age for people. For young volunteers as well, so we've still got a lot of work to educate people there. Yet some of the most motivated people I've worked with are 7 to 13-year-olds in Leicester's Children's Council, again run by Tina. So it's about trying to use Somewhere Too as well as a catalyst. So 16 to 25-year-olds working with younger people, like the Children's Council, and having the spooky sleepover in the library, because their mentor was 16 to 25, but also trying to encourage it to work with people from more marginalised groups. We're looking to do some work with yourself in the Youth Offending Institute at Glenparva. That would be fantastic to do something there, but also with Citizens Eye doing some community media related stuff, right through to working with those that are excluded, those that are kind of not quite sure what they want to do. It's not about education, it's about being creative, and I think Somewhere Too allows you to do those things, and also work with people with disabilities, or with carers groups, or cross-generational stuff with older people as well, because 16 to 25-year-olds just don't want to dance, make clothes, make music, things like that. It amazes me. So I said, the broad church, if you like, of things that they come with, and I think Somewhere Too, once you've signed up, is almost like it's a bit like Alice in Wonderland. You sort of drop down the hole of Somewhere Too, and then what happens from then you're in control of, but the world pretty much is your oyster.
John, thanks a lot today.
Thanks, Simon.